every morning with drive. Being on the grind, know I had to survive. We had to win. Started from the dirt and the rubble. I had to be the needle that was popping your bubble.
Hello and welcome into the Rookie Prospect Profile Series, a Zilla Fantasy Elite production. Today we're going to be looking at running back Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson was drafted number 8 by the Atlanta Falcons, and they come into the league out of Texas University. Looking at some of their physical traits, we can see that Bijan Robinson comes in at 5'11", 215 pounds with a BMI of 30.0. Ran a 40 time of 4.46 and has a speed score then of 108.7, giving them a prospect score of 17.079, which is 28th best out of the R Studio model rank. Shifting over to see who the closest comparables are to Bijan Robinson, we can see that the next closest 5 better than him, closest better, is David Johnson, then Najee Harris, then Cordarrelle Patterson, who really came in as a wide receiver, and then Ronnie Brown, and then Ronald Brown. So some pretty good comps there, a little bit better. The next 5 below Bijan Robinson's score: Jonathan Stewart, Bernard Pierce, Deonta Foreman, Nick Chubb, and Tevin Coleman. With that in mind, it looks like you got some pretty solid guys in there. David Johnson, Najee Harris, Cordarrelle Patterson had a pretty good season in there. Ronnie Brown didn't end up producing as much as we had hoped. But yeah, some pretty solid people in there. Nick Chubb. I think those are some pretty solid comparables. Switching now to the machine learning model for Bijan Robinson, we can see that Bijan comes in with a mean of 16.04, a median of 16.06. Their minimum prediction is 11.03. Their maximum prediction there, 20.62. Their 10th percentile outcome is 13.8. Their 25th percentile outcome is 14.2. A 75th percentile outcome of 17.23, and a 90th percentile outcome of 18.65. And their mid-50 gap there of 2.51 is relatively small compared to the mean there. So they got a good mini 50 score of 6.39 to go along with that mid-50 gap. And then kind of looking at the rankings for each of those for Bijan, we have, pretty much number 1 across the board outside of being number 2 at the max rank. And then the mid-50 gap rank there of 13. Anyway, getting into what some of these numbers mean, the mean and median there for Bijan Robinson, we're going to look at some historical players who have produced some fantasy results for you and kind of give you an idea of what you can expect from Bijan. So that mean of 16.04, that's actually super close to Ahmad Bradshaw back in the day, if you remember him, a little bit above CJ Spiller, Chris Carson, a little bit better than Tony Pollard last season. Theo Riddick, DeAndre Swift actually there at 16.07, 16.2. Breece Hall, 16.44 last year. So that's kind of in the range there of that 16 flat for Bijan in terms of what, it was predicting for a medium outcome for Bijan, somewhere in that range. It thinks, should be a roughly average outcome for Bijan, getting more into the maximum output of 20.62, similar to Jahmyr Gibbs at 20.41. We're kind of looking at Darren McFadden at 20.56, LaShawn McCoy 20.7, Fred Jackson 20.86, Kareem Hunt 20.9. That's kind of the range there of the 20.62. Some a little bit lower. We'd have Maurice Jones-Drew, Frank Gore at 20.18, Aaron Jones just under 20 there at 19.7. So that's kind of similar to what we can expect for Bijan Robinson during his career. That's what the neural network is saying. You can expect as a maximum output for him in his career, somewhere around that Maurice Jones-Drew, Aaron Jones range. LaShawn McCoy somewhere in that particular range, and that's not a bad outcome by any means for Bijan. I know, he's generational prospect for many, but really the numbers that he's coming into the league with aren't extremely stellar. We just know from film and kind of his output that he looks like a generational talent. Just the 4.46 and, a 10% college share, 36% dominator rating. Those are good numbers, but they are not elite. Some of those elite players are getting upwards of 15, 16, 18% college share. He was at 10. College dominator ratings for people like Jonathan Taylor, Melvin Gordon coming into the league were upwards of 45%. His is at 36. So that's going to be Bijan Robinson in the neural network. Hopefully the our studio model and the machine learning models give you a little bit more confidence in the analysis that you're doing for each of these incoming rookies. And that's going to do it for today's rookie prospect profile on Bijan Robinson, presented by Zilla Fantasy Elite. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Smash that subscribe button. Have a good one. Thank you. Bye.
Whole crew on top, really we on top. Wake up every morning with drive. Been on the grind, know I had to survive. We had to win. Started from the dirt and the rubble. I had to be the needle that was popping your bubble.